Hi everyone, I am evethemedium and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel and you're interested in developing your spiritual gifts, I invite you to subscribe below and also click the notification bell to be notified when any of my new videos are up. Now to today's video. Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is the English version of my previous video. For those of you who are visiting my channel for the first time, I normally upload the Spanish version first, followed by the English version. So if you see two uploads back to back or a few days after, it is the English version. Now what is today's video about? Today's video is a message I received from Mediumship, a very important law of the 21 division. The message was on temporary faith. You may ask yourself, what is temporary faith? Temporary faith is one that a person has when they petition a law for a certain outcome and they do not have the patience or the faith to wait on the results. They might get anxious after a few days, after a few weeks. But one thing that a lot of people fail to understand is, did you develop a relationship with Allah prior to petitioning Him? And when I say Lord, I'm also referring to your spirit guides or a saint. You must first develop a connection with that spirit and ask if that which you are asking is for your highest and greatest good. After you develop that connection with that spirit, or you have been serving that Lord for a certain period of time, then you can petition that spirit. It's like meeting someone for the first time and asking them for a favor. How do you think the person will react to whatever it is that you're asking for? The first thing that they will say is, where is this person coming from? I don't even know you. So the same thing is with your spirit guides. You must develop that connection. It's not just lighting a candle because you saw one of my videos, or you heard me speaking, or you heard other servitors speaking about how great Anaisa is, how great this other spirit is. And you say, you know what, let me take a chance, let me light a candle and petition them to bring this certain person back, or to bring me money, or to get me a job. It does not work that way. We as servitors have developed years and years of connection with the spirits, serving them. And therefore, we have the authority to petition that spirit, especially if we have gone through initiation. We can petition that spirit. The best thing to do in this certain situation is go to someone with the experience, connecting with the spirit, and ask them to petition them on your behalf. And that is why a reading is always required. That is why we always say, if you want some work done, you have to get a reading first, because we must get the approval from the spirits. There might be a different spirit that says, okay, I'll handle that job for you, or whatever it is that needs to be done. We must connect with those spirits first. They are not our slaves. They are not our servants. They are not at our beck and call. In that reading, we find out whether that spirit feels that whatever it is you're asking for, it's right for you. You may also say, well, some person petitioned, a friend of mine petitioned a spirit, a law, and they saw results immediately. You have to understand, maybe that person received that petition as a lesson or as a blessing. Because sometimes, after nagging a law for a certain amount of time, they allow these things to happen. Whatever it is you ask for, they allow it to come to pass. And why is that? So you can learn your lesson. And there are people that sometimes petition a law, or just God in general, and say, you know, I want this. And they persist and persist that they want something. And after they get it, they regret it. You cannot blame God. You cannot blame the spirits. And this is what usually happens. A lot of people say, oh, that spirit didn't work for me. It's not a good spirit. I don't believe in that path or that religion because I didn't get the outcome I wanted. But the only one to blame here is yourself. You did not ask. You did not follow the protocol that you were supposed to follow. Develop that connection with that spirit. And what I'm speaking about is not necessarily you going to a servitor, because the majority of people, they take this upon themselves. Immediately, they Google or they see it on YouTube and they light a candle to a spirit that they know anything about. And they start doing rituals on their own. How do you know if that spirit that you're talking to is the one that you were really calling. And then when things go wrong, you're blaming that other spirit, when you do not really know in reality if you were really communicating with that spirit, because you have never dealt with that energy. So you do not know what it feels like. So it's extremely important for you to develop that connection with the spirit first before you petition them for anything. You have to also learn how to distinguish between your imagination and the spirit communication. Is it the spirit answering me, or is it my imagination? Because when you hear a spirit say yes all the time, it can be your imagination. You're hearing what you want to hear. And again, when things go wrong, you're going to blame that spirit. That is why I barely do any kind of spiritual work anymore. For my godchildren, if they come to me, yes, I will do it if they need the help. But otherwise, I honestly do not like to deal with it. And the reason why is, there is so many people of little faith. They come to a servitor. I want this done. In how long will I see results? How many days? So-and-so told me that in 24 hours I could see results. Or in 7 days. Let me tell you something. There is not a calendar in the spiritual world. There is not a spiritual realm that has a calendar. There is no time. Time is non-existence. And I mentioned this before in the spiritual realm. Time and dates are not existent in the spiritual world. This is something that a lot of people fail to understand. Usually we will tell a person, give this work 21 days. It takes 50% from our side and 50% from yours. Or maybe more from your side. Because you have to have faith and patience. And your thoughts will interfere with whatever was done. Whether you did it yourself, your faith and patience has a lot to do with it. If you give a service to a spirit, for example, and every day you're checking on that, or you did it with a certain intention, let's say, for example, to attract a certain job, and instead of waiting, you start calling that job. When I'm going to get a call back and nagging, and every day go to that spirit, you are not going to see results. Your energy has a lot to do with it. Now, going back to the subject of this video, temporary faith, is that a lot of people become so disappointed when they do not see results in the amount of time they feel they should see results. And if they have built an altar, they become so disappointed that they start removing everything. And what is going to happen then? If you bother that Loa with that petition and you gave him a service, and then because you did not see results, you remove everything, if things were bad, they're going to get worse. That is why I always tell everyone, do not mess with the unknown. If you do not know what you're doing, stay away from it. Or if you want to really and truly develop a relationship with the Loa, begin by servicing your ancestors, your family spirits. And after you develop that connection, sometimes you don't even have to ask for anything. They bring it to you. Because spirits know your intention and your thoughts. And they know the reason behind you do what you do for them. So it is extremely important that you develop that connection first. You cannot build an altar for a spirit and then remove it. A lot of people get in that bind because they do not have the patience. This is a long life commitment. This is not just something you decide to do and then all of a sudden, I'm going to bring down that altar or put all my saints in a box and I do not want to deal with them ever again. Especially if you were born with a gift. Spirits are not to be played with. And again, they are not our servants, they are not our slaves, and they are not at our beck and call. So if you're a person of temporary faith, think twice before petitioning a spirit. Just because you saw on YouTube that this spirit is good, just because you saw that that servitor is doing well, that the spirits are helping that person. This person has a history of serving these spirits. It was not something that was developed from day to night. Because a lot of people have the tendency to only see the big picture or read the ending of the book, not the beginning. There's a lot of struggles that goes into this. A lot of dedication, a lot of faith. We as servitors fall many times. We go through heck of a lot, but those are tests. We go through all those tests. We experience financial difficulties, sometimes health problems, family problems, but those are tests to strengthen us and make us better at serving you. This does not happen overnight, and it takes patience and faith, a lot of faith. Nothing, absolutely nothing, moves in this world without faith. And another thing we must always understand, there is a higher being, and these lois are under him, and then we are below them. So the final answer comes from God. Nothing, absolutely nothing, comes to pass without God's will. That is why I always, or anytime I'm going to ask anything, I always say, may God's will be done. If it is meant for me, if it is right for me, may God's will be done. I rather receive something as a blessing than as a lesson. I hope this video awakens you, opens your eyes to what faith truly is. Faith cannot be temporary, and faith without works is dead, meaning you have to put in the work. It cannot be I believe one day and the following day I do not believe. This was the very powerful message I received from Believer Khan of the 21 division. I hope it helps you. I hope it helps you understand why certain things do not come to pass, why you have not received certain answers to your petition. And I can really hear a lot of people saying, oh, so that is why. Understand that temporary faith does not work. You must believe, but not just saying I believe. You have to feel it and stay in faith. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, share it with all your friends on social media. And if you're new to my channel, you can subscribe right now. And also click the notification bell to be notified when any of my new videos are up or when I go on live. If at any time you're interested in booking a spiritual path investigation reading with me or a regular reading, I will leave you the link to my website below. God bless you, and as always, I wish you much, much love and light.